Good evening, everybody. This is Johnny Seville from Acorn Wealth Corp, and this is your executive summary for stock setups for Tuesday. Kind of a special report as we go into this last week of the current open range. So just a reminder that obviously currently the open range signal that was set on Friday the 1st, which was bullish, has continued to push up so far. So just a quick reflection on that. Again, if we go back to February 1st range, you can see that that is the low of the day on Friday, February 1st. So the open range signal dictates that by Thursday's close this week, we should close above this level. So far, as you can see, we're just kind of going sideways at the moment after the initial bullish push. So again, we'll wait to see how this kind of pans out. Then on Friday, we'll have a new open range being the 15th, giving the signal of where we should remain for the next 2 weeks. So for those of you joining us in this Smart Money class on the 18th and 20th, of course, we'll have a nice fresh open range to do that live scanning in. In terms of some of the other smart money indicators, high yield bonds have continued to go sideways, so no real signal there that's giving us a clue one way or the other. And of course, the main threat to stocks in the market is, of course, what we've been analysing recently about the fact that we have reached that kind of overbought level of between 70 and 80% of stocks above their 50-day moving average. So this is where we start to look for potential shorts that may be breaking down, and we've been building a watch list over the last couple of weeks in case the market does take a dive to the south side. But obviously, with a number of longs that we've selected, there's nothing wrong with starting to look for some hedges now. We will start with, however, just a review of some of the existing long setups. Obviously, REFR, which has already hit its first target of 283 or 293, one of the two, a couple of weeks ago. Obviously, that's still kind of oscillating. There have been multiple opportunities to take some profit off the table, but if you are continuing to hold a portion of this, I would look at least consider updating the stop signal to 226, which was the entry signal, just to protect that remaining position. Aqua, AQUA, is actually consolidating quite nicely. Now this is one that has also hit its first profit target. Let me just give you a little bit more space on the screen here. There we go. So as you can see, Aqua is starting to consolidate quite nicely. So if we actually see a break above 1250, you could get another opportunity to enter into that, given its strength in holding this gap level. So yeah, so a break above 1253 could be a secondary entry signal. I would also look at considering updating the stop signal to 10 at 97. Okay. FII. FII, of course, which was a long setup if we had broken above this kind of a 2740 area. This is pushing nicely so far. Good day up today, and obviously breaking new highs. So the 2893 is the first target. This could still be an opportunity to get in, as it's broken through that 2750 resistance now. We'll be looking at 2893, obviously, as the target we're looking at as the first target, and I'd look at updating the stop signal to 2652. CAG, Conagra Brands, obviously already an entry signal, but making good ground today. The volume was excellent. 7.8 million traded on Friday last week. 12.9 million traded today. So absolutely a great volume day as it broke through that horizontal resistance around 2260 that you can see that it struggled with back here. So again, it's still an executable idea. You could still look at getting into this. And the first target we have on this is 2438. The second target is 2773. AXON is also holding nicely for now. Again, you can see it's just held those cluster of moving averages. I'm personally already in this stock, but that's I got into it close to where it closed today. So this is still a viable opportunity also, and but just trying to break a new high. VSI, excuse me, also VSI, also another one just to keep your eye on. If it starts to break through that moving average tomorrow, that could start to make a push, and I do hold a position also already in this one. Again, I got into it pretty much close to, actually a little bit higher than this price. I got into it around 553, I believe. So it's actually a bit cheaper than what I bought it for. And again, that's one we like also. Um, okay. The On the highly speculative side, remember these are very risky because of the amount of volatility. So just buyer beware. But keep an eye on this one tomorrow if you like the aggressive stocks. Again, only invest what you're willing to lose. But SN is something that I'm keeping my eye on. If I start to see that breaking out, that's what I'm going to be watching tomorrow. That kind of the key level I'm looking at to break is around 41.5 cents. But that could be a pop. I like the accumulation from the money flow and just keeping an eye on this as a speculative setup. Okay, so in terms of some longs to, excuse me, some shorts to potentially look at as a hedge, you can check out these ones, some that came across my scan. Data, DATA, as you can see, it's just broken through its uptrend, and you've got nice divergent money flow kind of going down at the bottom. So Data also has some insider selling from multiple insiders. It's still in the kind of under 10% area. It's got a 7% short float. So I'd be waiting to see this break down below 118.43, and I'd be considering a stop signal of 128.33. But the first target I'd be looking for is a drop down towards this $100 level. It is an oscillating stock, so I'm not so concerned with the moving averages, and looking again to that breakdown to where that support level was previously. So that's one on data. The other two are upward channels. You've got MEDP. Once again, there was actually some 100% sales, insider selling in August between $54 and $60. So we're obviously higher than that right now. And I'd be looking for a potential for a break below $60.87 just to clear this recent bounce. Actually, you can take these off just to clear this recent bounce. I'd be looking at a stop signal of 65.73. Again, it's got a short float of 12%, so 12% of its stock is shorted. And I'd be looking at the two targets of 52.13, which is the breakdown towards this kind of, or even actually a little bit higher than that. Yeah, no, I'd go a little bit higher than that. I'd be looking at $50, $50.33. Although depending on how long it takes to reach that channel, that might need to be raised. The second target I'm looking to is 33.13. Um, the last one, also a upward channel. You can see actually it's just broken down below the channel today, and so there's one to take a look at here. Money flows obviously drop straight below zero. If this breaks below 13.23, I'd be looking at a potential drop all the way down to $9.33. A stop signal I'd be considering is $15.28. If you're someone that's looking at you kind of more the options side of things. You can, excuse me. Basically what I typically would be looking at is something that's at least 3 months. At least 3 months out. So, for example, if I was looking at options on QNST, I'd be going out to June, and as you can see, we're looking at quite a heavy amount of open interest on the on those June options. I'd be looking at something like the 1250 June puts, for example, is what I'd be looking at. So what essentially the strategy is the same across the spectrum, is to look for just slightly out of the money, and 3 months out. So I mean, again, if we were looking at something like MEDP. Um, MEDP, same kind of thing. I'd be looking out to see, site's not terrific. One second, there we go. March, June. Um, so again, looking at a possible drop down towards 50.33. So and we're looking for it to break, 60.87. So I'd be looking, for example, at the $60 puts or $55 puts. Um, so that's basically kind of how I'd be focusing. I'd be looking at June, 55 or 60 puts. Same kind of thing again across the board, just a little bit out of the money, and at least 3 months out. So and a couple that I'm keeping my eye on, that are definitely there on my watch list. Herbalife, I'm watching this very carefully. If it breaks down below its channel, that's definitely there on my watch list as well. Take Two, Take Two Interactive. I'm watching this one very carefully. I'd almost be ready to short this right now, if it wasn't for the fact that there's a possible kind of head and shoulder there building on the weekly chart. So I want to make sure that we're going to bounce straight back up and create a right shoulder. There was some insider buying, but mostly insider selling on this. But this is another one, certainly there on my watch list. Um, and CENTA, Center, Central Gardens and Pet. This is one definitely on my watch list also. So for an aggressive trader, keep an eye on this one. Again, a very, very sharp drop down, has rallied up into resistance and may continue to drop. So those are some of the ones that are also on my watch list for those of you looking for some extra ideas. And that one also, both on QNST, that has insider selling. So all those three I mentioned, MEDP, QNST, and data all have insider selling and look like those potential breakdowns. So that should keep your appetite wet for tomorrow's trading. Looking forward to an exciting week ahead. And we'll see you all, of course, in tomorrow night's trading room at 4 p.m. Pacific. Have a great evening and take care.